Hello, everybody. This is September 1st. So, welcome to the first day closer to the end of summer. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of tired of summer. It has been the hardest summer. I mean, so hot, so humid. I'm ready for something different. So, anyway, hello. It's so good to see you. And there's our Marcia. I haven't gotten your quilt mailed off to you yet, but it is in the package. So it's getting closer. I'm the worst. I tell you, I think I need an assistant. That's what it is. So, hello. It is so good to see you. And Mark and I stayed up pretty late last night, and there's somebody outside. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Okay. Never mind. Mark saw them. I recognize, I guess I recognize her. I saw somebody who I normally don't see come up to the house, and I thought, uh-oh, there might be a problem. We better check it out. But Mark is on the job now, so I don't have to worry. Okay. Well, it's always fun. So this week, I've got so many pages I printed out for you. So let me grab some of the stuff because there's a lot going on right now. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. I think I'd rather have a little too much going on than be bored. I don't know if I've ever really been bored. And I feel like that's a good thing. So let's see. We've got Malcolm's back. Hey, let's don't talk about this morning, Malcolm. Oh, goodness gracious. I woke up and thought, you know what? Do I have to have hear such bad news all the time? But anyway, okay. So the first thing I'll show you is I've been working on my color watch quilt. And as you see, it's getting wider and wider. And look at how the color is popping through. So, and then it's hanging on a line and it's pulled forward. So you don't get to see it quite as pretty. But can you tell that there definitely is something going on with the color. So I love that. I've got to tell you too that I've got to tell you that Mark, Mark. Oh, I thought I heard Mark. But I wanted to see what's going on out there. Did a tree fall? Not so much in the woods. But anyway, I am absolutely attached to this color wash quilt. Every time I get a chance to sit down and work on it, I'm so excited. I just love it. I am so grateful to Terry Rowland and to Kate Jackson of Last Homely House for introducing this to me because, and Terry Rowland is the original designer, and it just grabs you and won't let go. And so I absolutely adore this quilt. It's going to be one of my all time favorites, even while it's a even while it's a totally scrappy kind of laissez-faire type quilt. I have such fun with it, and I don't worry if something doesn't quite line up. Doesn't matter. And maybe that's part of the joy for me because sometimes it's very disheartening for me to work so hard and see something didn't line up and think, oh, well, it's not perfect. Well, this didn't start out being perfect. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just something to have fun with. But I dearly love the different colors and so happy that I'm using the whole rainbow effect. I mean, I've really tried to be careful with the turquoises, making sure they're really turquoise, not blue, and adding all of that. Hi, Bonnie. We've got Bonnie and Marsha, and Diane 57 is here. And oh, it's so good. Cheryl Hogan. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for popping in Wednesday night, Cheryl. Oh, it's so good seeing everybody. I love it. So, it's interesting weather out. Hopefully, we won't get cut off, but if we do, don't worry. It's just we've got a line of thunderstorms getting ready to come through. And we had them last night, and I was really hoping for a lot of rain because we're having another little mini drought again. I think we got what I call spittle, and that's not quite enough. So maybe we'll get more today. But I showed you my color wash progress, and I love that. I'm thinking that once it's done, it's going to hang behind me like forever because I love it so much. All right. Drum roll, please. I finished all 60 at least of my campaign postcards. Let me tell you something. I really care about the campaign when I wrote all those 60. It took me hours upon hours writing real tiny to get everything in I wanted to say. And having a trimmer in your dominant hand makes it that much harder, and just having to slow down kind of, and I kept some little clear white stickers so that if my hand jumped, I could put that on and try to do the word again. But I will never forget the name Marcy West. So if you're in this district of North Carolina, vote for Marcy West for Forsyth County Commissioner. But I wanted to do more than just give campaign donation. I wanted to try to help. So I did it and got them all written and delivered them to the candidate yesterday. And I hope it helps. That's all I can say. Hi, Miss Polly. So, okay, so I finished all of those. Now I can rest easy. It was a chore. I think if I hadn't been, with if it hadn't been made harder with this trimmer, it wouldn't have been so bad. So, okay. At night, I'm back to working on my English paper piecing. Boy, let me give it a quick little iron. It's so funny. I am not careful with the work that I'm working on. Some people have these wonderful project boxes where they keep the block totally flat and smooth, and not me. I fold things over, throw them in the basket, things go and lie on them, and they get wrinkled. So I like to run a quick iron over it before I show you. All right, so this is the one I had done that I showed you last week that was almost, or was, no, I showed you Wednesday, it was completed. So here's the one that was completed. This is block 10. Here is block 11. I cut it out. I was so proud. I told y'all Wednesday I'd cut it out and put the fabric on all of the card because I print the pattern onto cardstock. And then I take a little glue stick and I glue the fabric on. And how's the lace going? I didn't work on it at all this week. Last time I told y'all. But anyway, so this is block 11 done, which means I think tonight when I'm trying to rest and take it easy after a busy week, I'm going to be gluing fabric on cardstock for block 12. So that means I have to make 16. I'm getting closer and closer to done. I really love the English paper piecing. I've been very happy with the projects I've been working on lately, that I've really enjoyed them. And that's including the bob and lace. I think I told y'all Wednesday. Oh, and I'm wearing one of my new necklaces I made. I saw this beach type shirt and I thought, oh, if you're going to wear it, better wear it soon. It's Labor Day weekend. And so I'm wearing this cute little necklace that I made this summer because it was too hot to get out and dye fabric and stuff. So I made necklaces. And but anyway, um but I think I told y'all, let me see. I don't, yes. So Lisa and if Lisa and I lived closer together, we would be trouble because I think we would get into so much stuff. I mean, she's so much fun. I can't tell you guys how much fun she is. Let me give this a quick press. See, I have one of these big fair trade baskets. I don't know if I've ever shown you. But oh, see, I need to kind of get a new one. It's getting pretty worn, but I love this thing. And it carries my laptop, my scissors. In fact, that's what rubbed that part of the basket. When you carry sharp implements in a basket, it might wear on it. But I love that fair trade basket, and I put everything in it. And oh, I think I was telling you, Mark and I stayed up kind of late. And by the time I went to bed, and then when I went to bed, I was watching Bob and Lace as I was falling asleep. I woke up at 8 this morning and I still had my headpieces in and I had the remote right here and I had fallen asleep like that. Well, so I took all that off, turned over, and woke up at 12:30. I kid you not. 12:30 on a day that I have to be here at 3. So sorry. But anyway, now I'll go back to Miss Lisa. Can I patch it? I probably could, and I actually should because there's an old saying, a stitch in time saves 9. And I know that's very old for some of you, but that is so true. That patch, that area of the basket, the more it stays unreinforced, the bigger it's going to get. And that's where that saying comes from, that once a little stitch is loose, watch out. So I didn't make that one, so I love buying the fair trade basket. If you're not sure what fair trade is, it's a way of helping people, especially in remote communities like in Africa or the West Indies or South America. It's a way for them to make things themselves and to get a fair price for it, something that they can support their families on. And so I love supporting that program. But anyway, hi, Debbie. How are you? Working on a dress? Oh, how wonderful. A girl's dress. Oh, Debbie, that is so wonderful. I remember hearing about that program. It's wonderful to give back, isn't it? It just makes you feel so good. So I was talking about my partner in crime, Lisa. It's a good thing she lives, in a whole different state because I think we'd get into trouble. But she's been working on that English paper piecing too. And I think I told y'all that we bought the original pattern from Yellow Rose Quilt Company. And the patterns run $12, $13, which is not bad when you consider the pattern is 50 pages. And what you do is you download it and print it yourself, which is good because on the pages where they have the templates, I print it in cardstock. And on the rest of the instructional pages, I print it on regular copy paper. And so she said, "Oh, I've loved this project so much. I've gone ahead and bought the next pattern." And so here is the pattern she bought. I remembered Ruby, so I went back to the site and I found it, and it looks so pretty. Isn't that pretty? So what I'm going to do is I have to finish this pattern first. I'm going to be strict with myself. I have to finish this year's, and then I get to start planning for this. And I have some wonderful blues and tans and creams that I was going to use for my Alaska quilt at last Myrtle Beach quilt party. But then I found some prettier fabric and went with it. And that fabric that I didn't use will be perfect for this. So I've already got the fabric, already got the pattern. Life is good, let me tell you. So, anyway, there we go. I am loving English paper piecing. Sometimes I worry I'm not doing enough new projects with y'all, but you know what? I think I'm more I want to do things that I savor, not just try to find the latest new trick. So, that pretty much is really nice. But so far as Bob and Lace, didn't get any done this week. Let me try to finish this thought before I zoom on to something else. No squirrel for me, huh? But what was I going to say? Anyway, I was in my room. I know I was going to say something else. You can tell that I'm still groggy, but oh, thank you. Thank you. Fair Share Farm? Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, Polly, I think that's a field trip for us. Oh, man, I didn't know there was a Fair Share Farm. That is so great. I love it. There are so many good people in the world and so many people who open their heart, pay it forward, do things to help people. And I love that. I was upstairs working on my color wash quilt. I'm sorry this has been folded, but I kept looking at this and I remember making this 2 years ago maybe. This is a study in mostly thread painting or thread sketching. And I show you my mistakes and tell you how I wish I would have done something differently. I love this. Even though it's embarrassing to say, I'm really tickled that I made this. And I am so pleased with how the tree and the leaves look. And it's mostly done with zigzag stitches with your presser foot down, zigzag stitches in 3 different colors, light, medium, and dark. I love what I did to the bark. Now you can see the sewing right up there. And there are light, medium, and dark in the bark. But look when you pull back, instead of seeing the individual stitches, you just see the shading. And then the little driveway that I did and showed the shadow with the thread. Look at the field. Look at the little wildflowers blooming. Look at how I put the highlights on the stream behind it and handled the highlights on the hills. These are zigzag birds soaring in the background. So I said, Deb, this needs to be finished to hang. Whether I decide to glue it onto a canvas or whether I just put happy trees. You're right, Marcia. You're so funny. Marcia's got a very sharp wit. Yep, happy trees. And you can put anything you want because it's your painting. Do your happy little painting. But I really like this. And even though this was kind of a learning project, I'm proud of this as a piece of art. So I'm going to make sure to get this finished to be hung up and enjoyed, not just sitting in a pile of other things on the floor. So I just thought, kept looking at that and loving it and thinking, take it down and show them and tell them why you love it. So I have not worked on my Italian mosaic floor tile quilt. But last night I pulled out the pattern piece and I used the light box. And see, these are the big medallions that are based on an ancient floor medallion in Italy. This must have been in Sicily because it is named Sicily Souvenir. So here are the big medallions. And Mark said, and I told him, I said, I'm not going to cut these out and use them. And he said, why? I said, because then you'd be using your pattern. And anybody else that wants to use the pattern or the book, they wouldn't have it. So he said, well, you could go to an office supply store and use one of their big printers and print it out. I said, or I can stay here and use my light box and recycle some printer paper and draw it myself. And he said, really? And oh, Becky, hi. Oh, oh, hi. Okay. So Rebecca Johnson is my oldest daughter, and her and Andy and Evan and Charlie. Oh, y'all are such dears. Thank you so much. That is, hi, Charlene. There's Charlie. You're on the big screen. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, then hopefully you heard them say, I just woke up at 12:30 and I'm a mess, but having a good time. So, oh, y'all are so sweet. I hope that y'all saw this piece that I was just showing that I am tickled of because I'm a pretty harsh critic on myself. And so when I find something that I go, oh, I did a good job, I think it's important to show. All right. So I showed you the big pattern. I already folded that up because I'm working on this Italian mosaic floor quilt. And there's our Lisa. Yay. And so what I do is on a light box, I trace in the necessary pieces. And then if you'll notice, I put 3 copies and this is the Eleanor medallion. I label what it is so I know what to do. In fact, this one's a different one. This is the Heritage medallion because I had a little space. Now, this will not be English paper piece. This is um, going to be paper piece, regular paper piecing. So I print this rectangle and paper piece in here. This is where if I had this piece with these both on each end, it would be too big for my paper. So I draw it twice, and that way I can make copies. This block is for the inside of that because the medallion is big. And so I just make 3 more copies, use this one plus the 3. And that's how I'm going to do all the medallions. And I love that the designer of this pattern, I forgot again to bring the book down, but she's so wonderful that she makes the medallion so that you can make it paper pieced in separate shapes, put them all together. Because it's a little intimidating thinking of making an applique circle and how do you get all of the geometric shape pieces into a circle. So she did the work for us, and I love that. Now, now we're going to talk about our undersea project. This is what I started painting Wednesday night. And so I decided when I'm making my new undersea project to go ahead and paint my fabric. Then yesterday I came down, did a little bit, put some darker edges on it, tried to get the sand a little browner. I added with ink tints, love my ink tints. I added um, some plants. You know what I noticed? Looks like some of the colors ran a little bit, but I added a few things in. Oh, And I did with ink tints, I did this little coral, a coral grove. Doesn't that sound nice? So anyway, now what I need to do with this is I need to iron it to set these colors. And then today we're going to start. I've got fabric over here on this table. We're going to start doing our fancy fish, and I'm looking forward to that. So this is a scrap of fabric that it feels like it has a little polyester in it, or it's just not something I think I would really like. Oops, going to heat my iron back up. So what I'm getting ready to do now, you know that I use the jacquard dyes. Did I keep them here? No, I think I put them away. I use the jacquard little bottles of dye to paint the fabric, and I used a textile medium. So if you want to know how I painted it, Wednesday night show tells you everything. I love ink tints. These are dye pencils, so they can become color fast, and it gives you a chance to really do a little extra work that would be hard to do with a paintbrush. So now what I'm going to do, especially since this has some of the textile medium is the acrylic base without the dot, the colors, the individual pigments. And they're slightly, the formulation changes based on what you're going to use it on. With um, textile medium, you're trying to have the fabric accept the color and hold on to it without changing the feel of the fabric too much. Elaine is here from Scotland. Woohoo! Oh, this is wonderful. Yay, I love it. Mrs. Da Vinci. Marcia, you are so cute. You are so cute. So what I'm doing now to make the colors color fast is I'm taking this piece of fabric that I'm using as my sacrifice fabric, and I'm covering the piece and I'm ironing it. The heat will help the color go into the fabric. The other day I said to you, and it was a mistake, so I want to come back to this. I said I might rinse. I was thinking about the glue. I use tacky glue as the resist to make some of the bubbles and the little highlights on the fabric. And I took the glue and put them in place when it was just the white fabric, and ah, none of the paint came off. I used this as a sacrifice because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I was thinking I want to get the glue out of the fabric. But then I thought, you know what? If I don't heat set this first and I try to rinse it, I'm going to lose color. So I haven't decided if I'm thinking I might try to spot wash the excess glue out. I'm not sure. But in fact, Miss Elaine, I watched some more of the Hoof GP when I was trying to get sleepy last night. It's just so much fun watching them. And okay, I know it appeals to my younger self, but he stands the Hoof GP. His name is Graham Parker, and he stands at the back of each cow and grooms their back feet, and his partners do the front feet. And one of the farm people happened to come by. I don't know if it was the owner of the farm or the manager or what, and he reached up and squirted him with some of the milk from the cow he was trimming its hooves. And I know that's just silly, but it made me laugh. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. So kind of reminds me when my kids were little and I was always out in the garden and they'd walk by and I'd squirt them with the hose and they'd say, "Oh, mom." I couldn't seem to help it. I got it from my dad, and for me, it was like a love token, but I'm not sure they believe that. So, oh gosh. Your town has the oldest working post office in the world. Oh, that is fantastic. I went to Joppa and Edinburgh, Scotland. Oh, 22 years ago. I can't wait to come back. Mark wants to mostly go see Norway. I want to mostly go see England, and we're going to combine it into one trip. So, and I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all a secret. His boss doesn't even know. He got an early retirement offer, and he's past retirement age, not much, but he's past retirement age. And he was thinking of working through this year, like one more calendar year, but he took it. It was pretty good. He'll get a certain number of weeks of pay, and but he can't ever go back to work there. So I hope he likes retirement. Or else he'll be going to Walmart and greeting people as they come in. I don't know. But anyway, so that has made this week a wee bit stressful. Thank goodness he told me that the stress of deciding to retire is as bad as divorce, um, losing someone that you cared for. It's stressful. So, what's not to like about retirement is that it's not as much money as working. He is so good at his job that he gets a lot of bonuses and he will lose that. So, it's like, okay. So, he has promised me that we're going to get the motorhome ready to sell because we really haven't been using it. And that'll save some money each month that will more than compensate what he might not be getting in. So, anyway, but it's otherwise, it would be great having him not. This has been a hard work year for him, really hard. And so it'd be nice not to have him so stressed, that's for sure. So, anyway, okay. And in fact, Marcia has been asking for some Pepsi items, and we actually now have some that he just got recently. So Marcia will be getting something with Pepsi on it, and that's exciting. All I have to do is manage to get out to the post office. As y'all can tell, I don't like going to the post office, do I? So I think that's the hardest thing about getting older is it you kind of start feeling like, well, if I don't want to do it, I shouldn't have to. But anyway, oh, and I don't know if Becky and Andy are probably not still there, but I watched Oak Grove's football game the other night. Yay! And they were playing West Forsyth. And I actually, though, fell asleep before I saw the final score. But I turned it on. In fact, and I found out the next day, Mark was already asleep. Found out the next day, and a little bit of dye did come off. You can't really see it, but I can see a little dirtiness looking. But now it has, you notice I took my time ironing it, and here it is, and hopefully the colors are set. And so this is just the background, and I'm going to use fabric. I may use some ink tints, to put in the fish, the coral, the turtles, anything I want in. And I'm still doing a lot of thinking about, do I want to make this comical? Like, I'll give you an example. All right. So I went online today and started looking. I thought this fish was so darn cute because this is the point. Oh, neat. Neat, Marcia. Oh, next Friday. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait for band season, competition season. That's, you know what, Polly? Same with me and my kids. It made our high school. Yes, it does look like K Facet in that fish. So I went online and said, I want to find fish patterns, fish shape, because the main purpose of this quilt is to try fanciful um fish, making, or fanciful sea items. So, and our Betty Meisner put us in touch with Sue Carlson, who does the most amazing. Her 23-foot crocodilius is iconic. I mean, everyone knows that. Her 12-foot polar bear will take your breath away. So, what I did is I said, okay, I need to have some basic fish shapes because I want fish and sea animals. Um, because I want to be able to draw an accurate shape, but then go crazy with fabric and make it so much fun. So I printed these just to show you what there is out there on the internet that you can use as your inspiration. Because remember, I don't copy these exactly. I use them to inspire me. And then and in fact, this quilt I love because it has the whale. I always wanted people to see it, walk up and see all of the interesting stuff, but then all of a sudden realizing that there is an eye looking at them. And look at this. There is a whale. So from now on, every quilt that I make, Undersea Quilt, is going to have some animal who's looking back at you. And I'm not going to tell you what this one's is, and you'll have to see as it develops. But oops, I printed these. Now, some of these prints are a little silly or childlike, and but it gives you good ideas of the shapes. And you know, our Andy is a pretty good fisherman. I bet you he knows a lot of fish shapes, although I don't think he catches the kind of fish that we're going to be working on here. But all of these I will put in my inspiration, and it helps me. Besides the photos, when we do show and tell, I'm going to show you the the folder that I put together with all the inspirations. I was considering doing something funny with this seahorse by putting a saddle on it and having a cute little crab riding the seahorse. I'm trying to decide how silly to get or how serious. And then here is another basic fish shapes. So on our groups I will scan these into my computer and I will put them on our groups IO so that you can have them available to you. So this is the main reason. This kind of look is the main reason we're doing this. It's supposed to be just something fun, something easy. You should put googly eyes. We've thought about that. That's a great, yes. Wouldn't that be fun? I wouldn't mind false eyelashes on them too. In fact, you know how Mark and I got a robotic vacuum? There's one side of it that looks like a face, two eyes, and what looks like a mouth. I'm going to pick up some inexpensive false eyelashes and put it on the robotic vacuum because as it goes around, it's going to look classy. And her name is Hildy, so I think it's great. Let me see if anybody else. Michelle the quilter is here. Yes, that's what we're working on today. So today I have good old inexpensive muslin because the best way to do this fish, it's going to be collage style, is to draw the fish on the muslin, then cut out the fabric and glue it on. So I've got my glue handy. And let me show you some of the fabrics I started pulling. And I'm going to make sure I do at least one fish for Charlie that has googly eyes. Because I do have googly eyes. I was looking over here to see if they're in the right case, but I don't see them off the top of the bat. But I have them from this big down to little with eyelashes. So let's just say I'm very in touch with my inner child. So I found when I was looking for fabric today, I saw this and thought, ooh, that'd be really good for putting on areas of the reef. Our Mary is here. Yeah. Oh, and there is a new Mary. Mary Hilmura. Oh. Oh, honey, I'm glad you made it here. I'm glad you made it here. Yes, you keep us posted because we have a good number of people. In fact, I just saw Dolores Fagan is here going to Paducah this month to see Susan's work. Oh, you get to see Susan. Now I just forgot her last name, but her work is amazing. And I did just see that she's having a display. I don't know if her polar bear is going to be there, but oh my gosh, that blew me away. And she's so meticulous. And oh, I'm so excited for you. Gosh. And don't forget, in fact, is it still in here? I have been carrying it around for such a long time, but I might have finally taken it out to save it because I didn't want to keep crunching it. But our Dolores had her, not a llama, work done, and it was in the Quilting Arts magazine. Ah, I tell you what, if any of my work ever made Quilting Arts magazine, that's it. I would be done. I would sit in my chair and just like, mm-hmm. But what can you do? But I love that picture. Okay, so let me see here. Mary, please keep us posted. I had cancer 4 years ago. Luckily, mine was able to be removed with surgery, but we've got several people who have dealt with breast cancer and others. So please, let us send you good thoughts and lots of hugs and keep us posted with how you do. Okay, sweetheart. All right. So I went through some of my fabric. This would be great for fish. Now, look at these. This fabric is called effervescence, I believe. Yes, effervescence. And it's great for fish eyeballs, for cutting out little bubbles and putting right above the fish. Then here is some of my African prints. And I looked and went, oh, those this white one especially, I thought that would be a good eye. And I want to make sure, look at this. Wouldn't that be pretty? And just different shapes. Just make it exciting. I even grabbed some stripes for striped bass. maybe, but little fabrics with little designs that kind of looks like fish scales, a fancy art deco fish scales, but fish scales nonetheless. So what you're looking at is you're looking at color and pattern. Dolores, oh, the polar bear will be there. Wow. If they allow you to take a picture of that, would you take a picture and email it to me? I read about the hours and the work and her getting people to critique it and going back and fixing things. And oh my gosh, she's amazing. But look at this. Don't try to figure out what the design is. Think of how you can use it in a sea turtle, a whale, a shark, any kind of fish. What this is about is using a familiar shape, but using your imagination to to figure out something in a whole different way. Here is like this. This would be wonderful fabric to do fins and fish tails. So that's what we're going to do. And I want you to go look at your stash. Go look at your stash. Think of what would feel like, wouldn't this half be really good gills on a fish? So it's look at your fabric and reimagine what it could be. Just fish with these little funny flowers on the side. Here is another interesting fabric. So what I did, and this is leftover from a shirt I made, but this is really good just for some background work. So now, and that's not all. You know, it's never that simple with Deb. So let me pull this over. Oh my God, my fabric baskets. I brought one over and it was so heavy. I said, Mark, can you bring the other one over? These are my two baskets that have multicolor prints in them. And any one of these fabrics would be good to use in collage fish. And batiks, oh my gosh, yes. All the bright colors. Look at this. Wouldn't that be cool? So it's looking at things in a different way. And this is a good practice. This is like, oh, imagine a fish tail with this fabric. Oh, thank you, Malcolm. And look at this. Doesn't that look like fish scales? I mean, wouldn't that be? How about rainbow trout? Ah, so, oh, look here, my little gecko fabric. But just looking at fabric and talking about cave facet, ta-da! Wouldn't that be cool? So I'm pretty sure that's cave. All of a sudden, I just doubt it. Yep, that's cave. I was like, don't doubt yourself. Cave is iconic. Don't doubt yourself. So I've got so many different fabrics, and they're going to be wonderful for this. I'm just kind of filtering through so you can see some of them. And but what fun is that? So now let me put this one back. Oh my gosh. Fabric's heavy, guys, I tell you. Okay. Now, honestly, I could go through my fabrics, single colors if I wanted. These are my multiple um, color fabrics. I think I could even use ginkgo leaves on a fish. Look at this. You know what this would be good for? An electric eel. Maybe with a lit light bulb in his mouth. Gotta think about it. Here is some more amazing fabrics. In fact, this I think I will be using a lot. Look at the opportunity for eyeballs and scales and gills and all of that. So I'll be using a lot of that. This feathered, hmm, there is a parrotfish, and it hangs out on the reef. Maybe the parrotfish needs feathers. So it's going to be so much fun to just cut from this and let your creativity and imagination go. Um, this also is a really good imitation of scales. If Evan is still here, I can't wait for marching band season, sweetie. Cannot wait. But all of these things are going to be a lot of fun. And then I've thought, well, what about like puffer fish? I was thinking of doing a balloon bouquet of puffer fish. So I'm thinking normally I don't it's kind of like, oh, to let yourself go. Is there a butterfly fish? But oh, here's some, yeah, this would be really good for parrotfish. Those look a lot more like parrot feathers. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And just kind of let yourself go, let yourself reimagine all of this. So how cool is that? So anyway, I just thought I would show you, and then I'm going to do a quick fish outline. Now, be thinking about what size do you want your fish to be, because it depends on what size your canvas is and how many fish you want to do. Um, if you make your fish too big, and I would also, though, not make them uniform. Make some big, some little, some tiny, whatever. But a fish with feathers. Yeah, I just thought, something funny with all those choices. You would, I know, I know. In fact, can y'all all come over and we'll go ahead and sew together? Because I've got all the fabric you need. Oh, why do you think I try not to buy fabric anymore? It's like, I really don't think I need more. And there is a difference between wanting more and needing more. Big difference. So, oh, no, this is heavy. This is so heavy. Okay. So I hope I've given you enough good ideas. I want to thank Betty Meisner because she really, with all of her handwork that she's been doing, and she's really inspired me this summer. So I'm going to quickly iron this fabric. I think we'll go to show and tell, then we'll come back and I will draw out a fish and kind of start the process and show you. And I'm not rushing with this one. I'm not even making an end date. Let's just have fun with it. I think I'm truly slowing down. And even though I exercise, I'm not getting more energetic. So, what can you say? Oh, Miss Lisa is here. I didn't start talking about it earlier. But Miss Lisa is here. And I was so distracted with all the retirement stuff and trying to finish the postcards for that campaign that I totally missed the Myrtle Beach Quilt Party coming out online Thursday. So Friday night in the middle of the night, that's when I finally opened my computer and saw it and went, "Oh no, normally the day I get it, I print out the registration, fill it all out, and first thing next morning it's in the mail." Not paranoid much, but I want to make sure I get the class I want, right? So this time I panicked and I thought, oh, I want to write Lisa. see what class she'd like to take. And then I said, "Oh, the problem is it's 2:30 in the morning. I don't I don't want her phone dinging because she'll probably then feel like she has to wake up and answer it." So I mean that for the text messaging. I didn't even want to beep her. And but then I thought, oh gosh, I've got to write this out. And right now, and I kind of got in a panic. Anyway, when we do show and tell, I'll take you to the Myrtle Beach quilt party and show you where we're going to be staying and how they have done a complete remodel. It's going to cost me more to stay there, but Mark said, who cares? Go. I don't know if he wants the house to himself that much, but I want to get away, that's for sure. So we'll first go to the Myrtle Beach Quilt Party site and keep this in mind if you live anywhere where you feel comfortable enough to travel. There are ladies who fly in for it. But this is the 35th year. And let me tell you, I'm not gonna miss a thing because I don't know how many more years. Whoops, let me turn this off my camera. Which button do I push? I think that one. Nope. Come on. Hold on. I had to put my glasses on. Couldn't see what I was doing. There we go. All right. So get my camera. By now, you're probably a little nauseous. Sorry. But I'm going to first take you to the Myrtle Beach. No, let's go. Let's look for Sue Carlson. Hold on. Sue Carlson. Okay. And Sue Carlson quilts. All right. Oh, look what she's got right here. She's got her fish. But she is an amazing, um, let me see. She's an amazing collage artist. I mean, so talented. And oh, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So she truly, oh, let's see some of her stuff. I hope you won't mind, but I'd like to show you because she's so wonderful. She is probably the preeminent uh, collage quilter in the world. All right. Oh, look at this one. This is cool. Look at this. Pardon me. Okay. Whoops. So look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now we'll go back. She's got her beetles. I want to see a couple of her big, amazing things. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Tickled pink. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? And let me see if she says the size work. I don't see it. But usually her work is very large. Oh, this is reasonable. This is 64 by 42. Okay. Oh, look at this, the dodo bird. I think that is so cute. And here's one of her fish. Oh, here's crocodilius. Look at that. It is 21 feet, 6 inches by 70 inches. Isn't that just amazing? I love that. That's how I first got to know her. I'm not sure I want to do bats, but it's good to see these fish. This limelight lionfish, ocean tide grouper, crescent moonfish. Oh, she's got sea turtle. Oh, look at her work. Oops, auto power off. No, oh, it came loose again. I don't know why this keeps coming loose. Okay. Hopefully you're still there. All right. And so that's all of her. That isn't that amazing? I wish she had her polar bear. I don't think it's out here yet, but Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, so thank you. We went to see Sue Carlson. All right, and there is a class that she has pictures of that was I gave you a link to a couple weeks ago. All right, what am I looking for right now? I'm trying to think. Um, Sue Carlson, and then we were going to look at something else. Myrtle Beach Quilt Party. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Okay, that's the sign up for it. Here are the classes. So I'm going to show you the classes they're offering and then what I decided to take. This number one, bring your own project. So what they did is some people just don't want to make more quilts, but would like to get things done that they've started. If you're like me, you might have started it 20 years ago. So here is now, when I saw this class called Snail Trail Alfresco, when I saw this, I thought, oh man, because I always love to take classes of the quilts that just wow me. But you know what? Last year I made the Alaska quilt by Edita Sitar. And you all know, any of you who've ever done any of her quilts, you know that they take a lot of work. And I looked at this and thought, too much work. I just don't think I can take another high intensity class this year. And plus we just got through making a Storm at Sea when I did our group classes in July. Then I saw this and I thought, okay, that's nice. But do I really want to do that much curve piecing? Nah. Okay. Because that's tricky sewing, getting all the curves done. It's not bad, but, you know, is that going to be fun for me? Then I saw this and said, I love this. I just love it. So it's sweet and easy. Then, of course, I love this. And this is by Miss Judy Lilly, who was one of the first people to teach me how to make landscape quilts. And so I'm very grateful to her. And I looked at this and thought, I'm not sure I'd learn enough new doing that, but that is awful cool. Then I saw this one. My first instinct, too busy, too much. Nope. Do you know how many half square triangles you'd have to make for that? So then I saw this party favors. Now I love Miss Joan Shropshire. She was so good with me the first time I went during COVID and was trying to be very protective because I had had surgery. But she's a great teacher too. And I thought, that's really, that catches your eye. But then I thought, I see a lot of half square triangles. So I thought, nah. Then I saw this one. That's not bad either. That's right, pretty. Then I saw these, and I've taken Susan Edmondson's classes before, and they're very creative. She's so generous in the kits and stuff you get from her. That really looks awesome. So there we go. Those are the choices this year. So let me tell you what I decided. This is the one I decided to take. There's something just so sweet about those little, I love their chubby little bodies. And I just think, oh man, you could really do a lot with sweet colors. Color choices, fabric choices are going to be really big in making this really cute. So I chose this one and I thought it's pretty simple. Now, am I going to learn that much from making it? Probably not. But you know what? That's okay because I can see myself sitting in class and relaxed and enjoying. So I chose this as my first one Then this is one of my backups. And believe it or not, this is one of my backups too. But they're amazing choices. And now I wanted to quickly show you what they have done to the hotel, which means it's going to be more expensive. But I love it. Mark says, who cares? Okay. So look, let me bring up this room. Come on. Come on. Bring up this room. Well, it's not showing it. Let me go back. But also, last year when I was staying there, I knew they were doing a lot of digging and they've put in a new pool. They have put in water slides. I do understand that we go to this in the middle of we go to this in the middle of January. So there won't be any water slides and swimming outdoors, but they do have an indoor pool. I just might use that. But these are the gorgeous rooms. Luckily, we get them from between 119 a night and 130 a night. But it's nice. And this is not a front on view of the water, it's a side view. So these pictures are a little misleading. But hey, I can go out and sit on that balcony and just look to the right, and there is the ocean. So, not too bad. All right. So, now what I'm going to do, close this out. But if any of you just get in touch with Myrtle Beach Quilt Party and see if there are any open sites or open, as you know, she's been doing this for 35 years. So the original gals are kind of aging out of it. So they might just have a good so a few openings. And I tell you, it is definitely worth it. Okay, so here is my folder. I'm going to show you a few pictures out of this. Look at this, the beaded applique. Whoops, pardon me. Beaded applique jellyfish, which gave me ideas because, you know, that would be really awesome too. So here are some beaded jellyfish. All right. There's the fish I showed you a few minutes ago. Look at that turtle. I just love these. And gotta have good inspiration to draw your fish. This was the inspiration for my background. And okay, here are the cutouts. Oh, let me go back just a second. Look at these funny fish. I just wanted to get any idea possible. And that looks like a butterfly fish. But you know, we can use our imagination. It's a really good thing. So often in quilting, you're so worried about cutting it out perfectly, sewing it with a perfect 1/4 inch seam, all of that. We don't know how to, we forget how to just kick loose and have fun. But I just thought I go online and I bring up fish pictures and I save them for ideas. And look at this. This isn't that something? Goodness gracious. But I save all of them. So go out there and look and see what you can find. And these fish decorate themselves with bits of sand and gravel and coral, and but there is just so much out there. Get an idea of the different kind of coral shapes. I use this as the inspiration for making my undersea seaweed that I use my Inktense pencil with. Oh, I see something that I'm really interested in this year. So, hint, hint. But I love all of these scenes, and look at that. Isn't that sweet? Mm, mm, mm. So just look at all of these. Now, am I going to make these tiny little orange fish? No, but I might paint them in places. Look at these sea fans. Aren't they gorgeous? And you know what? You can use onion bags, netting. You can find a lot of interesting things. Cut out lace into those shapes. So it's to me, it's important to have a lot of inspiration. And so that's why I say, oh, look at that interesting. Now that's really interesting. And it's got an eye and it's looking out at you. So anyway, that is my inspiration folder. And in fact, I've even got another one here with two of these collage fish. Now, I'm not doing goldfish, so but oh, it wasn't just Betty Meisner's. I love this. So wonderful, wonderful job. All right, now let's go see your work. Enough of this. Let's go see your ideas. All right, Miss B sent one of her wonderful cards. And Miss B is from England and lives in a wonderful cottage with a beautiful English garden out in front of it. And so she has inspiration right outside her door. But isn't that lovely? And it looks like she did some hand painting and stamping. That is beautiful. Way to go, Miss B. Love it. All right. Now, I love that we have members from so many different places. Now, here, this really gave me a lot of inspiration. This is Betty Meisner's, some of her summer handwork. And although this might have been machine, but she has really been exploring doing collage and hand embroidery. And I just think that's beautiful. And then she also grows amazing dahlias. Look at this. And there. Oh, I think that's going to be a future dahlia quilt of mine. I do think so. All right. So now, and if anyone sent me something and I've missed it this week, I apologize. It's been a busy week. It's been a kind of crazy week. All right. So this is Miss Bonnie's work. These are her hexagons. Oh my goodness. And I think all of these are hexagon pieces that are drying or waiting to be sewn. She's so industrious, hard worker. And here is her hand embroidery. I think she said she's going to be working on French knots. I can make a French knot, but they all look different. I have not mastered uniformity. So, and then she's in a block exchange. I love those colors. She's working on a table runner. Come on. There you go. I love these petals. Table runner. Some blocks from the petal table runner. Look at her black work. This whole piece is probably less than 12 inches square. And it's just amazing. She has really mastered black work. Now, I wonder how she gets some places to be darker. Does she use an extra strand of black floss or what? Bonnie, if you're still there, if you could put it in the discussion, how do you get certain ones to stand out darker? Now, look, she set up a design wall for all the things she's working on. Come on, get bigger. Oh, and I see that she has an amazing dragon here. Look at these wonderful fussy cut hexagons. Oh, I love that. And then more petals. Oh, she's got sashing for her petals. Good job, Miss Bonnie. And I always appreciate she lets me know, lets everybody know that she's finished something and she's put up pictures so we can go get it. She's been doing a blog for years, and she will put some good pictures up in her blog. Here is her baby dragon redwork piece, another block from the block exchange she's in. And I had someone write and say they loved this idea. Bonnie found this photo of beads. Remember when they used to have chains of beads to, like, as a doorway? And this person took cans and painted them and put them in an outdoor bead display. That looks like a great boho project for me next summer. Love it. And more of her red work. Let's just say Miss Bonnie's hands are always busy. All right. Let's see. Debbie. Oh, in fact, Debbie, I hope you haven't sent me anything new. I don't remember it, but I love her underwater project. And look at that sweet dog, Chloe. So I hope Chloe's doing well in her obedience classes. It's so smart. My daughter's Becky is always good about training her dogs in obedience. All right, and here is Jody's, classic, wonderful Jody's. She named it Bacon of the Sea, and as you see here, it's an octopus arm, and she fussy cut the little suction cups. I love that. I even love how she took a fuzzy yarn and created the border, the little narrow border. So very good, and she has been very busy. Now, I'm hoping that she's getting her laptop fixed because she's got her own YouTube site now called Quilt Squirrel. And so the other day she was having problems with the sound. And if it's not one thing, it's another. I've had every problem you could imagine. So frustrating. This is the quilt that she worked on when she was going through cancer treatment, and she entered it in her county fair and won first place. Isn't that wonderful? So congratulations, Jody. I love that. Okay. And then Miss Julie sent us some new photos, and I love her little partridge. I just think that is so cute. These little partridges. And then look at this one. Oh, I'm gonna have to go down here again to enlarge it. There's a chickadee, there's a female cardinal, there's a blue jay, and a tufted titmouse. Aren't they wonderful? And I wanted to tell y'all too, I looked at some of her berries. I think it might have been this one, but they looked translucent. So I've got to find out how she did this. That is, and notice too, it is, it's not a triptych, it would be a quadtic. It's four separate pieces. How does she have them hanging? Is there any tulle in between them? So I've got to find out from Miss Julie how she hung those, because they're hung beautifully. All right. And in here, I think, yes, look how some of these berries look translucent. It's just beautiful. And I don't know if it's applique fabric or painted on or what. So we want to know. We want to know more. Look at her exquisite thread sketching, thread painting in this. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit bigger so you can see beautiful, beautiful stitching. Isn't that amazing? Love, love, love it. And the snow on the little branch, and the little thin strips of pine needles, and that looks like real fabric. So she's very, very talented. Look how wonderful this pine branch looks. And that little chickadee is absolutely adorable. Isn't that wonderful? And I'd love to know how she gets those little strips of fabric so well stuck onto that quilt. It looks like she might sew down each one. I'm not sure. But Julie, This is a joy. Thank you for sending these. There's her daylily, beautiful. Look at this sunflower. We have the most talented ladies anywhere. Just, oh, look at the berries with the dot on the bottom. I mean, how pretty is that? So thank you, Miss Julie. How wonderful, exciting it is to be able to show everyone your work. And Miss Mary, and I love these socks. Aren't they the cutest? They almost are Grinchy socks. They're so cute. Love those colors. Kind of looks like a cool wooded pond on a hot summer day. Whoops. Oh no. Let me try this again. Okay. Let me go pull up Julie's. Go back to this. But thank you. And we're very impressed, Miss Mary, that you were able to crochet socks. I wouldn't know where to begin, but it looks like you did a great job. So good way to go, Miss Mary. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Our Meltem. Now remember, our Meltem comes from Turkey. So this is wonderful to see, and I hope she's able to put in her site that she sells some of the beautiful artwork she makes. These are some kind of, I don't know if it's a fried dough, and you pour syrup over them. So that is something very Turkish, I would believe. Aren't they beautiful? I think they look like pine cones. They're beautiful. And then I love, this is a raised pathway park that she took her quilt to display it. Smart, smart, smart. Look at that. And I don't know if you're doing the quilting yourself, but it's beautiful. It almost looks hand quilted. Whoa. And then look at these wonderful placemats she did with and I love the look of those flowers. It's so young, like she is, young and refreshing and just beautiful. And she fussy cut hummingbirds and put them in the center of the log cabin block. I love that. Now look at this. That is a lot of folded cutting. That's really, really fascinating. Let me see if I can. Whoop, no, don't zoom in that much. Look at that. Isn't that neat the way the fabric is folded back and sewn? That's a lot of amazing work in that tote. And a zipper too. Way to go. And here's another one of her totes. And this looks like it has little charms, little ribbons. Oh, it's a crazy, these are real crazy quilt blocks. Oh, look at this. Some crocheted lace. How wonderful. That's very special. Then she went on vacation. Look at this domed roof. What a building that is. And it's so big. That's a big light fixture. Wow. And then she heard a kitty, and the cat came out of a car, was in the engine compartment, and she was so wonderful. She spent hours saving this kitty, who then went to a rescue group and to the vet to get treated, and hopefully has a wonderful home now because Meltem took that time and care to save that kitty. Now look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I wonder if she went swimming in that water. It just looks so inviting. And look at this amazing ruin. Now, I assume that's a ruin, but how wonderful is that? And those vines growing all up. Here is her doggie on the beach. What a sweet doggie. Then, while they were on the beach, they had a campfire and roasted corn. Look at that. I bet you it's a good place to eat roasted corn. Look at that amazing sunset. Isn't this just beautiful? And it's just what you think turkey should look like. That is just gorgeous. I was noticing how this looks like a dragon's back right there. That's really interesting. And look at this lagoon. Oh, wow. I wonder if this had been maybe a quarry or some stone quarry. Isn't that beautiful? And here are the printable bookmarks that she sells on her site. Wonderful sayings. All right. So thank you so much, Meltem, for all those great photos. We missed our Meltem. All right. So I need to go back. Okay. I'm so glad our Meltem is back. And guess who I heard from? Our very own Mitty. She's had a busy summer, I bet. But look at these amazing postcards she made with hand beading, hand applique, hand embroidery. That's beautiful. I think everybody is enjoying the peace and calm of handwork now. And look at all those French knots and the lazy daisy stitches, and that is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, this is sweet. Look at that. Lots of good practice on stitches. And was it Quilting Daily or Quilty that's starting oh no, today was the first day. I better check my email and see. You're supposed to be getting daily or weekly um, stitching patterns. Now, Pat Fry, oh, she did a great job. Look at this Christmas moose. And you know what? Oh, you're right. Christmas is coming up before we know it. Look at that cute Christmas moose with the ornaments hanging from its horns, its antlers, pardon me. Isn't that cute? Okay. Thank you, Miss Pat. And please say hi to Don for us. Okay, let's see. Miss Polly. Oh, that's right. I need to talk to her and see. Maybe I can get her in soon and we can do one of these thread baskets for you. Isn't that beautiful? And then, of course, she is a weaver extraordinaire. And she wove this bed runner, which I think is just beautiful. Beautiful and good taste. I just love looking at pictures of her home. All right, now, let's see. I think we're winding down. Yes, I think we pretty much, the others we've already seen. All right, so I just love it. And one of the things that's so neat is that Lisa speaks Turkish and can speak to Meltem in her own language. We've got the best group ever. I love our group. All right. So, all right, let's do one of our fish. Move things out of the way. We're going to do an outline of a fish. Oh, take care, Miss Mary. You're such a sweetheart. All right, let's see. So, I've got to now decide and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this background out of the way because I don't want to accidentally, I might end up using a marker and I don't want the fish design to be put onto, all right, to be put on my background. All right, so I've got a micron pen and now, okay. All right. And oh, while I'm thinking about it, oh, Bonnie left too. Bye, Miss Bonnie. I wanted to put my emails. I've been seeing some new names, and if you'd like to join for free, our groups IO, and that way you can get any of the free patterns I have put on the site over the years. Okay, here is our email. So, and then that way you can also send pictures of your work. So, okay, now I've got to draw one of these fishes. Let's see. A surgeon fish. Do you know a surgeon fish actually has what they call a scalpel, which is a spike back near its tail? But I'm thinking that surgeon fish could have some medical things on it. Let's go ahead and start with a good old surgeon fish and see what we can do with that. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, a surgeon fish looks like it has a pretty blunt nose. I'll tell you what, I'll draw it first. In fact, let me bring this over here. Now, if you wanted to, you could enlarge the copy of the surgeon fish and trace it on a window or with a light box. So this surgeon fish, I don't want them too big, but like maybe like this. And oh, interesting tail. It really helps to look at what makes, when you draw your fish, look at what makes it unique. So come up here like this. And its body, the bottom is pretty normal. So it has kind of a high forehead here. All right. And then I notice that the top fin kind of just follows the shape of the fish. And it has a little fin here, and its gill, and its eyeball, and a little bit of an open mouth. And then right down here has a fin. And then another fin that hangs close to the body. So now what I'm going to do is my micron pen's a little small. Let me see if I can find a bigger one. I want to draw this so you can see it. So you've got to, you know what? Let's just use a good old Sharpie. All right, here we go. I want you to be able to see it. So I don't know if you ever do this, but sometimes I fail to throw Sharpies that are really, for the most part, empty, but I fail to throw them away because, well, I might be able to get one little bit more out of them. Now, that is silly. As much as I use them, I need to learn to throw them away. Okay, so now come up to this. I love this amazing tail here. So I'm going to I want to do a play on words. And now you know where it gets the name surgeonfish because it has what they call a scalpel, which is a sharp barb, like right here on the tail. And so just remember that if you ever see a surgeonfish, don't pick it up. All right, so here is my surgeonfish because my background's not that big. And so then what I will do from this point is start deciding what fabric. Wouldn't it be fun if I had medical fabrics and put that on it? But I wonder. Surgeonfish. I'm going to do things like put a, oh gosh, what are they called? The things they use to check your heart, to hear your heartbeat. I'm going to put one of those hanging on his neck. Um, it'd be funny to turn one of these tail things into a scalpel. So, oh, that is, Malcolm, you are so sweet. That is so nice. Our Marcia just is, she's so smart and she's so interested in so much. That is lovely. Lovely, lovely. We love seeing scenes of Turkey. It's a beautiful country. In fact, Mark and I are hooked into watching ship spotting is what they call it, where they sit outside um, a port and show you what kind of ships come in and out of the port. And there is one that shows you ships from coming into the port in Turkey, and it is gorgeous. All right. So now what I'm going to do is cut a hunk of this fabric out. You know what? This fabric might be prettier on Sweet Lips fish, but I think I'll grab just a couple different. What would a surgeon fish look like? This might be a good time to use some of this fabric. But this is where just have fun with it. Kind of reminds me of the color wash quilt. Is nothing has to be perfect, nothing has to be accurate, nothing. Just have fun. So let's see. I think I'm going to cut this fabric out in the shape of the fin, and put this here. And it's okay to have it longer on one side because you're going to overlap it. All right, put this here. All right, so I cut it out to the basic shape. You don't have to even be perfect with this. Just cut it out to the basic shape. And I'm going to go ahead and use this glue. A lot of times I'll use school glue, but I want these to really hold until I have a chance to sew them down. And don't forget, when we do this kind of collage work, is we glue it, or you can use fusibles if you'd like. I'm just tired of sewing through fusibles. Look at that. That's a pretty cool fin. All right. And then do I want to put this? I was just look. This looks all soft and girly, so that's why I was thinking that would be better for the fish called Sweet Lips. So let's see. Oh, you know what? This stripe just kind of caught my eye. And I think this stripe should run with his body, the length of the body. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to cut a bigger hunk than I'll need. Okay. And what you can do if you want to get the shape is take and lay it along the drawn lines. Run your fingernail along the pattern where when you fold it back, you see the line, run your fingernail, increase it. And then that way, when it comes time to cut it, you can see that line that your fingernail left in the fabric. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Now let's see how well that worked. So I'm just going to take my scissors and cut along the crease line. In fact, if anything, cut just a little beyond the crease line, because that way you have extra that you can take and cut off at whatever point you need to. So always, when in doubt, leave it a little bit long, because you can always cut it off. You can't always put it back. Okay, so this is good. Then this would have to stop here and here. Okay. And I just can look where I've done the creasing. Okay. Here we go, right there. So that's the body. Now I need to have a fin here. And now I'm just doing this in front of you. I would probably do a better job if I took more time, but I can always change any of this when I want. So that's not a problem. I'm thinking this might be a good shape, something different. Remember, we are trying to push our creativity. So this might be a good fin for here. And that way it would give me a change in color, a little more excitement. All right, so here's my fish body. Okay, give this a little trim. Okay. So now I'm going to come in here and just. Now, the only problem is I'm covering up where to put my eye and where to put the gills. So I'm going to try very hard to remember where to do that. And then I need to trim this up a little. Okay. And then I'm cutting off the tail here because I'm going to do something different with the tail. And I know I'm going to add this. Let me peek at this again. Now um, remember that tacky glue holds much faster than school glue. So just be prepared. This is going to be the bottom fin right down here. And then I need a back fin here. Lay this right here. Okay, here we go. And I'll come in and put a little glue on here and then lay this fin right in. All right. So now this is looking a little boring to me. So I think that I'm going to have to end up jazzing this up. And I was looking for that fabric efflorescence. Here it is. I need to let loose a little more. Instead of doing the whole piece here, I want to just do little pieces. So I will work on this. And Maisie, hush. Maisie, hush. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can find a cool eye for this fellow. Right? But you know what I could do instead of pulling off the big piece first is what I can do is add other pieces on top to give it a little more excitement. And then I need a line. I need a line for his gill. Let me see if there's a straight enough piece of this. Don't see it. Well, I will end up looking through. A lot of times I try to find something that has a line in it, that has a line already that I can mimic for that gill. Let me see. I bet you. I bet you. Maisie Hush. I think Mark is out washing his bike. Too big. Now, let's say you can't find something that makes the proper line for a gill line that you want. You can always take markers, ink tints, pencils. You can always take anything like that and add, put a line of glue. A little too much glue. Pull the excess off here. Okay. So this makes it look a little better. I think that I want, oh, let me try to put a little mouth on him. I think that I want to add more to him and make him more exciting. And so I need to work on doing little pieces, putting little pieces and looking for little pieces of scale. So I will make a point as I do this more to just work on little bits at a time, little bites. All right, so there we go. And then now this is a chance that I could use something very interesting on his tail as well. So, oh my goodness, I don't know. This is hard to do. I think I need to take more time and just um go through because I'm going to want to make good choices. All right. So anyway, I will work on this and put something interesting for his tail here. Now, also, I just thought about this. You could use ink tints to do parts of the fish as well. So if you don't have a fabric that you like to do, then go ahead and just draw it in yourself. You could, whoops, I didn't mean to turn that off, but you could draw in parts of the fish. You could draw it on fabric and then put it in. So that way you can get just what you want. But I'm going to definitely go back, spend more time on this fish, and I want him much more interesting because we only have space for just so many fish. Let's make it, really interesting. But, oh, I did want to show you that I can put a thing around his neck. Maisie, hush. But I could put the thing around his neck. I've got to look up a picture of what stethoscope, I think. I do want to put a stethoscope around his neck. And maybe to emphasize that he does have what they call a scalpel on his tail, maybe I'll draw a realistic scalpel. That's going to be scary. Anyway, put a little thermometer in a fake little pocket or put a little white lab coat or something on him. Anyway, okay. Oh, there's Nancy Lynn. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for letting Mardell know that you're not able to get signed in. Maisie, enough. So nice around here. That dog was my Becky's. I keep saying she might find her way back to Becky's. Not really. We love her even though she's a real pain. But the funniest thing is when she gets excited, she bounces like a deer. Boing, boing, boing. And that you have to look for small reasons not to kill them. So, all right, everybody. Well, anyway, at least we got started. And I need to take and get into my brain there. And too bad there isn't a fabric with, oh, wouldn't, yes, oh, jellyfish. What a neat idea. Could be some strawberry jelly or grape jelly. Ooh, you could use grape fabric. So I love that, Jody. Oh, it's not given the rate for the entire stay. And one thing I have found is if you try to put more days, like I like to go up a little early and stay a couple extra days, I have to call them and I call the local number. Call the local number and say, I'd like to come in, but I'd like to still get that rate. And I say, sure. I mean, they don't have people beating down their door in January to come to a beachfront hotel. So anyway, ah, oh, you asked where I got the effervescent fabric. Oh boy, let me see. Let me see. I always keep my selvages on until the fabric is totally used up. It says Amelia Caruso for Robert Kaufman, effervescent. So I would just look up Robert Kaufman, effervescent. You might have your best luck at getting it on Etsy because it has been around for years. So finding a current seller might be a little tricky, but Robert Kaufman, effervescent. In fact, would you like me to spell that? Effervescent. I'm going to have to look it up. I did good just pronouncing it. So EFFERVESCENCE. Robert Kaufman with a K. So but it's just so much fun. There's so much you can do with these cute little eyeballs. So it learning to do this collage method will help you um look at fabric in a whole new way. I used to have a fish up here that I had done. Now I'm not sure what I did with it, but I have done a little bit with this in the past, but this is the first time. And I want to take that time and really look. Just remember when you decorate your fish, small pieces, that'll help remind you to keep changing up the pattern. So, all right. They do look like water bubbles in the water. There's so much you can do with them. Happy birthday, Meltem. Oh, that's great. And then Jody is September 3rd. So that means Tuesday. Everybody on Tuesday, go outside your house and yell real loud, Happy birthday, Jody. I think she could hear it. But happy birthday, our dear Jody. Gosh, that's wonderful, sweetheart. All right, and Meltem, September 21st. So we're going to remember that. All right. Oh, I see that, Lisa. That's frustrating. Yeah, we will definitely thank you for letting her know so she can, because that's going to have to be something that they put on the site. So, all right. I'm thinking I need mellow mushroom pizza. I'm really thinking I need that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to y'all. And I'm going to go and mark because I just got a hankering for it, you know? All right, everybody. Take good care. Thank you for joining me. And yes, you go to sleep, Elaine. I know it's getting late over there. And Meltem, I know it's getting late for you too. Thank you all for joining me. Do something special for just you this week. If you don't have a mellow mushroom and can't get their pizza, then think of something else that would be really, really nice to do just for you. You can't take care of others unless you first take care of yourself. So have a great week. I hope everything goes beautifully for you. I've got to start cleaning my house. I've got a reunion to go to, and Charlie's going to house sit for me. I don't want her to see all my spider webs. So take good care. Bye bye, everyone. You are the best. You're turning 35. Oh, you're a young thing. You're half as old as me. Take good care, everybody. Oh, thank you, Cheryl, for coming and being here with us. I'm so lucky. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next week.